Multi-directional elevators are also in the works. This tech is being developed by another company, TK Elevators. Instead of relying on hydraulics or cables, these elevators run along linear motors that look like tracks. So they aren't limited to only going up and down. They can go sideways too, which means you can operate more cars simultaneously on the same line, sort of like a subway. But multi-directional elevators are still being tested. Most skyscraper elevators still rely on cable systems.
And if you're going to move a lot of weight really fast, then you need a big piece of equipment.
Speed itself varies based on design and use case. These motors used in Merdeka 118 can move elevators up to 38 miles per hour. But for passenger cars,
it isn't just flipping a switch and moving people as fast as you can. You have to think about the comfort of those people. So one of the ways that we can test for that, and it's pretty low tech, but it's incredibly effective, is the coin test. We'll take a typical coin, just like that, and we'll balance it on the handrail in the elevator. And if the elevator ride is really good, the coin will stay on its edge the whole trip.
But elevators that carry goods instead of people can go a lot faster without worrying about comfort.
So these goods elevators will move at just over 10 meters per second, which is over 2,000 feet per minute. If you've got really fast goods elevators, it makes moving the people side easier.
But a big limitation for elevators is actually height.
So in the low-rise buildings, you might use a hydraulic elevator, one that has a piston that you've probably seen pushes the elevator up.
Hydraulic elevators can't produce enough energy to get an elevator all the way up a skyscraper.
So here we use rope or steel cables or another form to pull the elevator up from the very bottom to the very top.
The taller the building, the more steel cable is needed, and steel cables are heavy. To get an elevator up to 1,600 feet, you need about 40,000 pounds of cable. Past that, the building would need a separate elevator with separate cables to keep going. But new tech is being developed to increase elevator capabilities that could solve some of these issues. In the Burj Khalifa, elevator manufacturer Otis used polyurethane-coated steel belts that are stronger than normal steel cables. And Kone's Ultra Rope uses carbon fiber.
So inside the Ultra Rope, you can see that there are 4 strands. Each one of those is a carbon fiber strand. The weight of the steel rope is about a half a pound a foot. And the weight of an Ultra Rope is about 1/10 of a pound per foot. If we think about a 55-story building, the difference in rope weight is roughly that of a Toyota Prius.
Which means that now a single elevator can run from the bottom to the top of a skyscraper over 3,000 feet tall. That's taller than the Burj Khalifa. Ultra Rope was used to update the elevators in this building.
You can see it's a very narrow building, and so it's susceptible to sway. There's a restaurant at the top, but there's no kitchen at the top. So what would happen is when high winds, the elevators would need to shut down for safety, but that meant the people at the top couldn't eat. Now, this rope, because it weighs so much less, it has significantly less momentum. So even if the building does move around a bit, the rope doesn't contribute to the movement like it does with steel rope.
Over half of the world's population live in city centers. According to the UN, by 2025, it will be almost 70%, which means that mega-tall skyscrapers like the Merdeka 118 will likely become more common.
When we build buildings like this, they last essentially forever. So making sure that the elevator systems last a long time is really important.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.